Welcome back to 7-Minute Options. Today I'm going to be tweaking my portfolio, looking at some of my positions, and looking at some of the more popular tickers that are here in the top equities list of Tasty. And yeah, let's get right to it. So one of the two positions I'm going to be closing today, actually the two positions that I want to close today are KGC and AUY. And so this was back almost a year ago. I actually purchased 100 shares of KGC and 100 shares of AUY. Both of these are gold miners. A year ago, for whatever reason, I thought, you know what, all that uncertainty due to COVID and the economy, blah, blah, blah. I thought, okay, gold mining is going to be doing well and gold's going to be doing well. And you know what, I was wrong. So I'm down 192 bucks on Kinross and I'm down 83 on AUY on Yamana Gold. So I'm just gonna be closing these. I don't want to hold these because they're actual stocks. I want to sell them before the 1 year is up to maximize my, I guess you could say harvest my maximum tax gain from selling these at a loss. So that's what I'm going to be doing. It should be fairly easy to close. I was hoping to close these for $9.50. That's my GTC order because that would allow me to not lose any money on it. But I just got fed up with them. I want cash right now. IV is very low, so I want to get some cash. I want to have as much cash as I can, so that when IV does spike, whether it's tomorrow or next week or next month, I want to have a lot of cash ready to take advantage of some good juicy premium in the markets. But so I'm going to close this one out, and I'm just going to close this out at the market rate, 726. And shares are usually pretty liquid, so I usually don't have to play too much around with the actual cost. Right now it's trading for 105.01, so let's get rid of that. So yeah, I'm just realizing some losses there. And again, it's less than a year, so hopefully that'll help me out a little bit when it comes to tax time. Although I definitely don't want to be in a position to give anyone tax advice because I'm definitely not qualified to give anyone tax advice. So this is not tax advice. All right. So looking at some other positions here, I'm okay with the rest of these. I don't want to tweak them too much. These are going okay. The one thing that I started looking at here is, okay, now that I have $4,500 buying power, what are some of these positions here? I sorted these by IV rank, and the first one on the list is TAL Education, or the TAL Education Group. My recommendation is to stay away from this one. I'm not touching it. The reason why I'm staying away from this one is you can see the crazy volume spikes and the down the negative trend. This is because this stock right now is driven by some of the news that's coming out of the Chinese government. So this company operates after-school private tutoring programs in China, and the Chinese government is cracking down on these. And it's the Chinese government's statements and press releases that are driving the stock down, right? And again, I'm looking for stocks that are going sideways, being quite boring, that are not driven by news, not driven by binary events. I want something to go sideways. This right now is driven by external factors, not by underlying fundamentals. A lot of uncertainty on the future viability of this business in China, especially if there's a government crackdown there. And so, yeah, volatility is spiking. That's awesome. But unless you have a pretty high tolerance for big movements here, this is not me. This is not a stock for me, even though I like the volatility being as high as it is. Clover, I have a position in Clover, and that's good enough for me. Again, a lot of volatility here. This is first of all, health and biotech in general can be quite volatile, just that's the nature of the beast, because they tend to be very single news driven, right? If they get FDA approval, then the stock soars. If they don't, it tanks. It's just a very volatile sector in general. And Clover is a new and an upstart, unproven company, somewhat unproven company. So it is quite volatile. So I don't want to open any more positions there, even though volatility has been consistently high. The next one on here is Wish. Wish is an online marketplace. And yesterday, the stock actually didn't do a whole lot. But there's been a lot of volume here. The volatility is picking up. This could be a good one. But again, it's just a $10 stock. So let me see, looking at, again, I only have 30 days out. So I like to close these out with 15 to 20 days to go. So I'm only looking at 10 to 15 days of this being open. And again, it's a $10 stock. There isn't a lot of premium in here, right? I could open like the 25 delta here for 80 bucks. And I could open up the, I don't know, like the 14 delta here. But again, this is a $10 stock. It is getting a lot of interest from the Reddit crowd, so this could pop like an AMC type short squeeze, in which case if I cap the top here, if I cap my limits on the upside, I don't even pick up $100 to cover this $1 wide gap. There's just not a lot of different choices here. If I roll up to the 10, then really I'm only like, I'm at the 34 delta, which doesn't give me a lot of confidence on the downside. Interestingly enough, this only cost me $220 in buying power. The $1.50 covers my upside risk. Let's see where the 10 lands on here. The 10 lands on this curve right about that line, which, I mean, Wish was underneath 10 for a good 15, 20 days or so, a good 2 weeks, but it was up above that and it just peaked above that. You know what? Like, I'm not terribly excited about it, but if someone wants to give me a $1.53, I'll take it. Again, if the Reddit crowd wants to drive this to the roof, my losses are capped on the upside, so I'm fine with it. I can't lose more than, actually, I can't lose anything on the top. Even if this goes all the way up and they drive it to the moon, I'm still making $50 on the upside. So I only have downside risk, and this thing doesn't want to go lower than $7 or $8, which means I potentially could roll it and pick up some more credit. So you know what? I'm not particularly happy about this, but if I hold it for 10 days and pick up $50, that might be a good way to do it. So let's see if somebody wants to fill me on this one. $1.55. We'll let that sit there for a little bit. Again, if you do play in Wish, please cap your risk on the upside, because this is getting a lot of attention from the Wall Street Bets crowd and the meme stock crowd. That's why this is, you can see it from the crazy volume here. Anyway, it's being pumped a little bit, so be very careful and cap your risk. Okay, NUE, this is Nucor. This is one of the biggest steel maker, might be the biggest steel maker in America. I'm not sure. It's a big, large company. Looking at this, IV is 43. They got earnings coming up, but that's after the July expiration. So again, I'm not looking to get 50% here because I don't have enough time, but if I can hold a position here for 10 to 15 days and pick up 25, 30%, I'd be very happy. So you can see the expected move here is plus or minus 7 points from the 100, so like 93 to 107. If I go out 21 delta, there you go, I'm outside the expected move. There's, wow, it's a 15-cent wide market, even though there's 1,000 people in there. I'd rather go to the 16 delta here, 10-cent wide market, 1,000 people in it. And maybe get an iron condor going for $50. And maybe if I take a $5 risk over here on the upside, what does that look like from the 15 delta? $82 is not enough. So I'm going to go back a little bit closer, just outside the expected move here. 24 delta here, taking $5 of risk, picking up 113 for that setup. And you know what? Maybe do I want to go to the 95? Yeah, I am going to go to the 95. And the reason I'm going to go to the 95 is because this has been dropping. So it's been dropping for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days. And it's nearing the bottom Bollinger Band. So I'm hoping that it's not going to go too far lower. 95 is actually right there. So it looks like if it continues downward at this pace, another 2-3 days of downward moves, and I could be challenged there. But I'm hoping that, okay, after 5 or 6 days of a downward move, maybe it's going to flatten out and move up. It already kind of bounced today. You can see it went down and bounced. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. It already opened, it already quite low today and bounced just like it did yesterday. So hopefully this is reaching the end of this downward move, and I'm okay with going to the 28 delta, because I usually don't like going to the 30 delta range unless there's a reason for me to believe that it will turn around like I do here. This is 165. Let's see if I can get 165 for this. Again, the markets are quite wide, so this might require some massaging to get filled. Maybe I got to start moving it up. So yeah, I expect this to maybe get filled around 160. So let me play around with the wish here a little bit. I'm going to move it down to, let's say, $1.51. See if that gets filled. And again, let's see. I don't know. That's a little bit iffy there as well. Let's get back to NUE. It's not filling at 165. We didn't expect it, so let's try 162. I'm still okay with 162. And anyway, those are the positions I'm going to try to put on it today. And If I can fill them, great. If I can't fill them, that's okay too. So my goal here is, because I don't have the 40-45 days to expiration like I usually do, I'm not going to push these to 50%. If these get filled, I'm going to put in a GTC order right away for maybe a 25 or 30% return, just so that I can close this out in 10 to 15 days with a 25 to 30% gain. So that's my plan for those two right there. I might roll these down a little bit more. I might roll this down to like the 140. Let's try 147 if that's what people want. I mean, again, this isn't the most liquidable. Okay, so I got filled there. Perfect on Wish. And let's see on NUE. Can I get filled on NUE? Okay, it's 162, so that's fine. Yeah, okay. So that's still working at 162 right now. The midpoint is 165, but again, wide market, so who knows what the real midpoint is. I'll try this at 160, and that got filled at 160. Okay, so let me try these. NUE, put in the GTC order so I don't have to worry about them. So I picked up 160 for NUE, and I'm going to close these. Let's say 50% would be like a third, so I'm going to try to close these for, let's say 115, just between 25 and 30% range. 115. So hopefully that's going to close sometime in the next 10 to 15 days. Hoping to get 30%, 25 to 30% there. And that was NUE, and the other one was Wish. And let's see. All right, 149. If I can buy these back for 100, actually make it 99. Just yeah, let's keep it simple. Just $1. What am I doing? $1 GTC. Come on. Screen recorder button is always there. Come on. GTC, there we go, $1. Hopefully buy it back and see what happens. Again, no risk on the upside, and if it goes down, I can roll it because it's a naked put. In terms of defense for my position in NUE, again, these are defined risk. I don't have a lot of defensive options. If one of these gets challenged, I might roll down the untested side to create a tighter iron condor and squeeze a little bit more premium out of it. But yeah, if this really goes against me and NUE goes crazy low or crazy high, I would be looking at some losses there. And that's fine. That's the risk we take. All right, a little bit more than 7 minutes today, but that's it. All right, thanks.